Hello, everyone. This is Professor Banks, and we want to talk here in Chapter 15 about development milestones and your exit plan. Now, this chapter is really taking a look at where you're trying to go with your business as we look at development and milestones in particular. And when we start talking about our exit plan, we're looking at the point of at the starting line here of what's it going to look like when things are done, or even when we are done with the business, depending upon the form of business you take on. So we want to plan for those things so that when we find ourselves years down the road, we have already thought about it and we know what we're going to do. And especially if there are partners involved, we all know what the plan is. So first, let's take a look at when we talk about development, we first have to look at what the company's vision is. So when we're looking at trying to develop, we always want to develop with the vision in mind. As I sometimes say, when we write a vision statement, then every decision that we make in that company has to bow to what the vision statement is, or you've got to change your vision statement. But your vision statement is really what drives you to make every decision that you're going to make. It is the main thing that you're looking to as you make choices with regards to how you will do business, even who you will do business with in certain cases there. So we want to keep our vision statement for our company in mind. Within the context of this development, we want to make sure that we're also continuously looking at the specific goals that we have for the company. We want to look at the number of employees excuse me, that we will need in the first year, that we expect to need in 5 years, that we expect to need in 10 years, based upon our overall development plan. Remember that this is a plan. This is what, if everything goes like we're planning to, this is how I expect the company to be progressing. So how many employees will I need? How many locations for my business will I need? Will I outgrow the original facility that I'm using here? Am I talking about branching off and opening up several other stores? Am I talking about franchising? Just what am I looking at in the development phase? For annual sales, what am I looking at for the first year? What am I looking at 5 years and 10 years down the road? So this development plan here, we're looking at it in stages here, and this kind of helps to guide our growth towards the vision of the company. In addition to sales, what do I want to see as profit? Profit means I have received all of these sales dollars from my company and from my customers, I should say, and I've paid all my expenses. So what's left over? If you've taken accounting by now, you know revenues minus expenses equals net income or net profit. So in addition to figuring out how much you expect to sell, how much do you see yourself making as a bottom line profit number in the first year? And then at the end of 5 years, where do you expect to be? At the end of 10 years, where do you expect to be as far as your annual profit is concerned? The number of products or services that you plan to offer. The number of awards or recognitions, that's another possibility. If you're in an industry where there is an association or some body of people that actually award, for example, a restaurant getting an award for being one of the best in the area, is there somebody that actually awards the best in your particular industry? Where do you want to see yourself with regards to that? Ownership allocation. If you're talking about possibly starting off as a single owner and you want to take on partners or even turn it into a corporation and sell shares of stock at some point, then what percentage of ownership in the company do you see yourself holding on to at these different points, at the 1 year, 5 year, and 10 year marks here? You want to talk about your business strategies for each of those periods of time. So starting off, what's your strategy for doing business? And in 5 years, how do you expect that to change somewhat based upon your vision for where you want to see the company in 5 years? This is going to determine what happens from years 1 through 4. When you get to the 5 year mark, how are you going to tweak things so that you end up in 10 years where you plan to be? It's all about planning. And there is a saying that people who fail to plan to fail. So you want to make sure that you are doing the planning and keep it before you. Don't just create a business plan and then put it in a drawer somewhere or file it away and forget about it. You want to be reading this regularly to remind yourself of what your vision is and what it's going to take to get there. So you're talking about your overall long-term development here. You're talking about specific goals that you have, and you're talking about business strategies. You also need to look at your priorities. These are also going to all have to line up with where you are trying to go with regards to your vision and what those specific goals are that you would have defined. Some of the areas that you want to look at with some specifics here. With regards to adding employees, let's talk about adding new product lines, talk about increasing marketing. What are your priorities here with regards to spending money? Which one is the most, the highest priority level here is, let's see, adding locations, adding capacity, or increasing your space to do business. Your capacity could be the size of your manufacturing area. It could be the size of your showroom or the size of your retail space. Increasing salaries, increasing inventories, increasing profits, retiring or paying off debts, increasing your reserves or what your bank account looks like so that you have monies to fall back on. Are you talking about potentially acquiring other companies? There could be a number of other things that are not listed here. What you want to do on the priorities page is to just list which one of these. Put a number beside them. What do we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. At least 11 items that I've indicated here. You may have more of them. Line them up and then just indicate which one of these is your priority, and then let this help to guide your decisions that you're going to make in the company. And let's talk about, we looked at setting the goals and setting what our priorities are. One of the things that people often fail to do is to celebrate milestones. You are not going to get where you want to be in your company in 1 year or 2 years. The vision is what you want to see your company look like at some point in the future when you are all grown up, so to speak. So what you want to do is to make sure that you mark off different milestones along the way. Check off your progress. This is really what milestones achievements are all about. Did you file your incorporation papers? Yay, that's something to celebrate there. Have you secured a facility, whether you're going to lease it or purchase it? And by the way, we typically suggest that you lease as much as possible as a new business startup so that you're not stuck with that debt, just in case you need to make some adaptations to what you're going to do, or if, even if you are in that boat where you end up discontinuing the business, you're not stuck with a lot of debt that could possibly even be in your name personally. But if you've secured your facility, check that off and celebrate, okay, I got another thing done here. So this is, to a certain degree, some of these things are going to be as simple as a to-do list. Others of them are more lengthy projects here, but every single one of them needs to make you feel better about moving on and increasing the success possibilities of your business. Have you hired some of your key employees? Have you secured your initial financing, even if it's coming out of your bank and it's sitting in your bank account? Yay, you. Product design completed. If you're looking at manufacturing a product, is the design complete? Do you have your prototype made? Is the market testing completed so that you have a good idea of which market you're going after and how to actually reach that market? Is all of that testing completed? Has your first product been shipped? That's a big deal. Celebrate it. Even to the point where I see in a lot of businesses, especially small businesses, where the owners will frame the first dollar they earned for that business. They actually have it framed and sitting typically in a space where the customers can even walk in and see it. It's just a reminder to relax and celebrate and enjoy the journey, and not expect that this business is just a goal, just a I can't wait to get to the end of it goal kind of thing. Running the business is about running our lives, and we want to make sure that we enjoy the process and not just the end result. Number of other things here, so I think you kind of get the point, but learn how to celebrate different spots along the way. And this includes current things that you're working on regularly, and then put some things on there that are going to be a part of your future milestones as well. Give you something to look forward to always keep the vision alive there. Last thing in this chapter that we want to talk about is an exit plan strategy. And a lot of people don't understand that you need to do this. You need to think about this at the starting phase of your business. You need to know at what point you think you're going to be ready to end your relationship with this business. If you are a sole proprietor, then that means that the business is going under, or you're going to sell it to somebody else, or whatever. There are different options here, but think about it at the starting gate. This is critical if you are in a partnership, absolutely critical, because you need to know you need to sit down and figure out what the other partner can do. And if they decide they want out, does that mean that the business has to fold? Does that mean that they have to give you a year from that point to be able to buy them out? What happens if, heaven forbid, one of your partners passes away? Does that mean that their share of the business automatically goes to their spouse that you don't get along with? So you know there's going to be conflict in the business. You need to sit down and plan these things out, especially in the situation where there is, again, a partnership. Some of the options you want to, there's a possibility that the phase of the business that you're in, the form that you're in could change. And you could go from being, a privately held corporation to one that's going public. This means that you are a publicly Wall Street traded company there. And your company's got to be pretty big size, and you're going to be an amazing success if you get to that point. Are you going to sell it? An acquisition here. Excuse me. Are you going to look at a buyout? Are you going to look at handing it down to your children? Are you looking at closing it? Are you looking at becoming a franchise? Are you looking at a merger? Are you looking at even possibly acquiring another business, or having another business come in and acquire your business as well, or just selling it outright? Mergers, combining the business with another one. A lot of possibilities there, but think about what you might want to consider. You want to especially consider the what if something happens scenarios, so that you have a plan and you won't have that as an extra burden when you get to the point of having something possibly happen in your life that means you need to let go of the reins of running the company. But you want to think about your exit plan strategy as you move forward. Then we get on to the last part of every section of our conversations here for every chapter, and that is the actual planning, the plan preparation here for that section. Where development is concerned, you want to describe your company's goals for the next 5 years. I know we talked about 10 years on the milestones section there, but understand that by the time you get to the 5 years, you're planning for where you want to be in 10 years. You want to describe the basic strategy that you're going to use to reach those goals. This is really a key section of your business plan, because it is going to help you to remember your goals, to keep them before you as you make decisions, as you get offers, as you run across opportunities, keeping your vision in mind and having a good sense of your development plan. Now, that doesn't mean that the plan can't change, and something may come along that changes this, all for the better. But there are some things that will come along that could be distractions to your original plan, unnecessary distractions, I should say, that is not really in your wheelhouse of things that this business should be doing. And keeping your eye on your vision and your development plan will help you to say no to something that could be an opportunity for some people, but it's just not the right opportunity for you. So again, in this one, you're going to describe your basic strategy for how you're going to reach your goals. You're going to describe the major risks that are facing your company. Now, I believe we've done the SWOT analysis already. So when we look at the risk, we're really talking as well about the threats to your company's success there. So you want to look at those. And then you want to describe your exit plan. What are you going to do when you get to the end of your career with your company? How are you going to say goodbye to the organization? And then go off and enjoy your retirement at some point. But these are the things we're looking at in this development, milestones, and exit plan section of our business plan.